create broadcast, start streaming. It doesn't have a go live this time, so good morning, hello, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I know a day early from a combat patrol, but it came out a day early, so I've got it. Excellent, isn't it? It's good. So bear with me 1 second because that was fortuitous timing for a door. Just give me one moment. How do we do this again? I've forgotten. How do I? Let's try that again. Hello, people. Hello. Postman arrived at just the right time. So as I said, it's a day early. It's arrived. It's for some reason it's arrived on Tuesday this week. Don't know why, but we have issue number. If I can actually get it in the right. 18. Number 18. That's 2 left to finish off the Space Marines and Tyranids. So noisy part again. Sorry about this. I'm just double checking all my little settings to make sure it's saying that I am actually live. I'm going to ask Sparkles to double check for me. Am I actually live? Before I actually start doing things like last night when I started and I wasn't live. Yeah. Good idea. So this time we have issue 18. So it's going to tell us how to paint our Termagaunts. It's going to tell us about successive chapters for the Space Marines and then field the Termagant Horde. Oh, fun. Now, we do get to build them. So before you get to this part, you should have gone back to last issue 17, and that will give you the step-by-step guides on how to build them. It does literally go 1, 2, 3, 4 for one, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and groups of 4 to make them. So I don't actually need that bit. So we will put them together first, I should think. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? So today we got this sprue. And last time we got these 2 sprues. However, today we get all the bases. See, I remembered this time. Bases come in the second half. So let's take all them out of there. Remove the plastic wrapper that is no longer needed. So the first thing we have to do is find out where number 1 is. Well, that's 4, 3, 3, 2, 1. So it's that small section there again. Let's just move them ones out of the way because we don't need them just yet. We will need them eventually, but we don't need them right now. So 10 Termagants to go. And a Ripper Swarm base as well. I'm a little bit jittery this morning. I've not had anything to eat. I've only had a coffee. And I've been awake a lot longer than I usually am. So I'm not quite the same as I would normally be today. Not that you can probably tell I'm weird most days anyway. But if I seem slightly more weird today, then we have a reason. Now we need something to remove mold lines. Something to remove. That'll do. That's really, really small. Really small. Sander. Technically, it did come with a nail set. But it works, so I'm not complaining. Just helps get rid of little annoying bits. That bit there on his FOD. Don't like that bit on his FOD. It's not nice. And for my non-British viewers, FOD is forehead. We have an odd way of putting things over here. Oh, I've just got a message on something. Is that what kind of message is that? Okay. Okie dokie. I did get a message. I'm not going daft. I am not losing my mind. I did get one. Okay, so back to where was I? Oh yes, there I am. Thank you. Hello. Oh, this has been a fun one. Talk about. Stop getting distracted, lads. Come on, lads. You can do this without getting distracted. You can't, but you're gonna try anyway. So there's number 2. A little bit of cleanup again, just to get rid of that sprue line. I may eat a little something during this, just to stop my stomach from screaming at me. So if I disappear for a couple of seconds, then come back when means I've got something to eat while I do this. I mean, it wouldn't have took a genius to work it out in the first place, but yeah. Okay, so we have parts 1 and parts 2. Part 3 and 4 are the arms. 4 has the gun attached to it. Makes that nice and easy. Snippety snip, snip, snip. So simple. There's one arm. 4 is arm and gun. So let's put this one in first, because this is the one with the shoulder plate already on it. So this is the one that actually locks into a specific position. So we'll get that on there first. Make sure it's in said specific position. And line up that shoulder bit so that the peg goes in there and the peg goes in there. And then give them both a bit of a shove. Again, good old teeth will give it a bit more of a shove if your fingers can't do it. There's Termagant 1. And you've got to line it up properly on the base so it doesn't look absolutely ridiculous and hang over every edge, and takes up a good, so it's right down the center of the base there. If it hangs over, he's going to hang over both edges. Push that in as hard as I can. Try not to break it, of course. And we have Termagant number 1. Pardon me. I am so sorry for that. One moment. Because I know why that's happening. And that's happening because silly me's been up for 3 hours and then not eating. Sorry, one moment. Good morning, Francois and Foxhole. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining me. I know I'm a day early. For some reason, it came out early. I don't know why. I'm not complaining, but it did. It came out early. So I picked it up this morning. And as usual, no delay between me getting it and coming live, apart from actually getting home and setting up the live stream. Just one copy of issue 18, because issue 18 is the rest of the Termagants, so it's part 2. Like that. So it's the other half of issue 17. So I can actually put the issue 17 together now. If I was going to buy multiples, it would be either of the next 2 issues. And because I don't like being a scalper, I will only buy 1 issue of each. and sell it on to pay for my issue, essentially. That'll be the only reason to do it. So I'll get one issue of the Parasite of Mortrex, maybe. Probably what? Probably just go. Yeah, I'll probably just get one issue of Parasite of Mortrex. I'll try for 2 of the Chaplain on a bike, because even if I sell it for the price of 2 issues of Combat Patrol, it's still 15, actually more than that. It's still near enough half price. So I don't feel as bad on that, especially if I only get 1. So I may sell 1 on eBay, but that's just for the Chaplain on the bike. Unless I get a specific request to go, can you pick me up a copy if you get a spare one? I will transfer you money via PayPal for you to. I mean, if somebody wanted one, then I would send it for them. If they can't get a hold of one, and I can. Morning Twisted. No speaking. Make sure you rinse your mouth. I hope you're feeling a bit better. Obviously, it was only 20 minutes ago we was having a conversation. But hopefully I'm giving you a distraction more than anything else, so that you're not thinking about whatever it was that we was talking about that you don't want to think about. It's probably a good idea not to put it in your mind, really, isn't it? Good morning, Graham. Oh, you've got Chief Librarian Tigerius. Yeah, but that pushes you into Ultramarines. He can only be fielded in an Ultramarine force, unless you field him as a generico librarian and pay him differently. I'm not saying that people don't like Ultramarines, but it does kind of pigeonhole you into that chapter. So it's not very nice. But 18, I finally caught up with you. So does that mean I'll be ahead next week? I get 2 weeks to be ahead, and then you catch up and overtake me again for 2 weeks. It's always fun how that works. 1,500 points of Imperial Knights. What do you take? You take as many Termagants as you can, and you make sure they have devastating wounds against vehicles. And go, you can't kill enough of me to make a difference, but I can fire enough shots off at you to make you worried. That's what I take about against. If somebody wanted to go, yeah, I got 1,500 points worth of knights, fine. I'm fielding Termagants and Termagants and Termagants, and so I'm fielding just pure numbers and taking the synapse option that allows me to damage vehicles and monsters. Unless I was forced into being Space Marines. If I'm forced into taking my Space Marines, then it's as much as I can take with missile launchers, las cannons, melter guns. I will go full, all-out anti-vehicle. I just realised is it still technically Monday for you, Twisted? Because obviously it's Tuesday over here for us. So Wednesday's like, right, okay, get through today, tomorrow. Just get through today. Obviously, if you're you are a few hours behind. So is it technically still Monday? Or have you made the crossover onto? Oh, what nights do I take? I don't know. Actually, I've never. No, I've never played. I don't even know the points on nights. How much is a unit of armigers? I know you've got to take one night, so take the big bag questor or whatever he's called. He's got to be at least 400 or 500 points. Yeah, take one night and then fill the rest up with armigers. Because they're all expecting you to take one or two big things. So if you just turn up with loads of little things, they're going like, ah, crap, I didn't bring enough firepower. Because I can take down that armature and that armature, but the other 7 are going to come and get me. So I knowing that Warhammer is a game of odds, the more dice you roll, the more chances you have. So the more units you have, the more dice you get to roll. So I'm not sure about the points, but I would go 1 knight and steam armatures just straight towards them. Yeah, it is. So it does suck. I mean, we have to pay for dental over here if you're working, or don't have some way to be able to claim it as a be able to claim it for free. So it can still cost you a pretty penny over here. Don't worry, Twisted. It's not a foregone conclusion that the NHS does everything for free. Dental is one of the things that they're a bit, well, if you can afford it and you're working, then you've got to pay. Which I don't agree with, really, but I don't make the rules. I just get forced to live with them. And I do get forced to live with them. Operation Titus Armor. Part 3 is this? I'm counting part 1 as the trial and error stage. Part 2 is the stage that you've got up to at the minute, and now part 3 is your revamping. Yeah, so it's a bit. We will still have to pay if you're working over here. However, if you're not working, so if you have a disability or something that keeps you out of work, like myself, and to be quite honest, you would as well, Twisted. You would qualify for free dental, so you'd be all right. But anyone who holds down a full-time job, as Graham has quite rightly pointed out, it'll still cost you like 500 quid just to go see the dentist. The last time I paid, I had a tooth removed, and it cost, I think it was £80 just for the consultation, and then another 140 on top of that to actually get the tooth pulled. So it's like £200 and odd that I had to pay just to get one tooth pulled. And they didn't even give me the option. They said they're pulling it. And it's like, but can you save it? So, no, we're pulling it. It's like, oh, okay. That's the option I had. So the price was already set. They decided I was paying it, and it was gone. So that's 4, 8, 12. So we're looking for number 13. 13, 14, 15, 16. So now in this corner, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're 17. That means 17 should be on here as well somewhere. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Which puts 25 on there somewhere. Right. We know where we're going. Most see, they'll only classify that as the one that needs to be removed, so it'll just be the infection one. But you would still, depending on your situation, have to pay for the antibiotics and the procedure. As I said, in your situation, you would probably get it alleviated, get it let off through some sort of emergency social funding via the NHS. But yeah, the vodka wash, if you're not going to do the saline solution or saline solution, I'll just pour straight salt on it as I would. Yes, I know. That sounds painful. It's not as bad as you think once your eyes stop watering. It's just that initial crippling pain. Once you can get over that, you're fine. But yeah, having teeth literally die while they're still in your mouth is not good. And I've just pinged off an arm. I've just pinged off an arm. I know it went down here somewhere, but where is that arm? There it is. Of all things to drop, it's that tiny little thing there. That's a small thing. That's the one to drop. Can't drop the big body. That's easy to see. No. I'll drop the little things. Yep. If I wanted to book an appointment now, because it's not an emergency, I'm looking at 2-3 months at a minimum just to get a dentist appointment to go. I need my annual checkup, the one that you messaged me for. And then they still get you in late, or try and cancel it because somebody else has phoned up that morning. Good morning, Beaky, and I hope you are doing well today. I was actually thinking about you this morning, and I was going to message you, and then I realized I had to go out, so I was going to message you when I come back, and then I got my magazine and started streaming. So luckily you were here. Next time you're up in towards my neck of the woods, if you want to give me a message, let me know. I'll come meet you for coffee or something. If you're over in my neck of the woods again. Four, 8, 12, 16, 17. There it is. £300 just for a checkup. And this is the country with the National Health Service, so who knows what it would be without it. I really need to get into mine because I need to sort mine out. I need something doing with my back teeth. Or should I say lack of. 17, 18. Nice. It should be 19, 20, and that'll put me halfway through. It is not morning. No, I wouldn't say it's morning glory. It's not been a nice morning so far. It is absolutely freezing out there. I went to my local stationery art shop to try and find some white ink, and they didn't have any. They also couldn't give me a rough idea of something that might perform similarly that they have in stock. So, no. That's how I found out this issue was in, because I had to go down to check the white ink for Bear to go through. That's going to be a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, I need it. Awesome. Well, I hope the MOT goes well first. We'll see how that goes. I mean, you take care of your car in fairness, so it should be fine. Providing no hiccups have occurred. But yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to that. Did we just have another post? Postman's just been right at the start of the stream. I had to go get the door. Now he's just been again to post letters this time. Back in a moment, people. No kidding. Just because I stood up, does not mean that I'm going to do that with you. Parents are guardian of one of the children. Always nice to get a letter that says parents are guardian of one of the children. It means it's not a bill. So you're getting all done. See, Twisted's got it sorted. Twisted knows. He knows. He knows left. Gets it done on the wife's insurance. Clever man. Saves you a boatload if they can pay out. No, don't fall down. It's falling down the pit of no return. Let's go find out. There it is. Now remove the light back. One day I will become professional at this, you know. And I don't mean I'll get paid to do it. I mean, I'll just look like I know what I'm doing. Okay, a Valiant, a Castigator. I don't know what the second one is or the third one. Are they all the big knights, Francois? Is that just 4 big knights? Because if it is, the counter to it is a hard unit that can hurt vehicles. If you were to throw, or as I said, just take the. I think is it the Valiant or the Castigator? It's one of those two. It's the big Canis. Is it Canis Rex? Whichever one that one is on with all the special rules and all the, yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good. From what I've heard, I've never played against it. We tend not to throw Titanics in that often. It kind of skews the game into one path. So we try not to run Titanics. Or if one person is 3 big knights and 1 little one. All right, okay. So yeah, I'll take at least one of the big knights, but I'll just fill the rest up with little things. Just so I can have more. And because they'll be expecting me to take big knights and go, oh, you're only going to have 2 or 3. And if you can turn up with like 12 littler things, and you can't really. You can't build an army to face light vehicles and expect it to beat heavy vehicles. And if you focus too much on heavy vehicles, you don't have enough firepower for the light vehicles. So, that's the way I'd go. But that still sounds like a pain in the ass to face, in fairness. Especially for Marines. Pro Acryl, Graham, Pro Acryl are fucking amazing. The white, just one coat I needed, and it covered yellow. Just think, done. Now got nice white things. It's awesome. The red covered orange, yellow, black. Took set 2 coats for black, but the red covered it quite well. And the yellow doesn't clump. At least this version of the yellow doesn't clump. So, yeah, I like Pro Acryl. Just gotta get more of them now. 19. Where am I up to? Oh, yeah, 21. I'm halfway through, aren't I? I'm the same. I need to paint the stomper. It's just, there's so much on the stomper. It's going to take months at the rate I paint. So I'm not overly. I mean, I want to paint it, but it's putting me off. I look at it and I go, look at all those panels, and I know I could just paint the majority of them black or silver, but there's still a lot of panels, a lot of different things. The amount of Gretchen hanging off it that are going to have to be green. Then I have to pick a base color for. No. That's going to be one of them. I'll pick that up on the day that I'm feeling right to do it. But I say pick it up. I'll get it down on the day that I feel right to repair it. And then the day I repair it will probably be the day I also think, do you want to know something? While it's warm, or while I've done this, I'll get the airbrush out and I'll. So I think my stomper will be my first actual airbrushed model. I just need to wait for it to become warmer weather so I can use my airbrush. Or use it effectively without it going. So the last time I used it, it went all over the place. And I didn't like that. Luckily, it wasn't actually on a model. Some of the freehands I've seen on nights, just on the big, the big shoulders. It's like to paint murals on them. It's worse than the Eldar, which is bad because, well, they have loads of stuff on them. Loads of big, nice flat panels. But the amount of work you could get onto a night, I mean, I'm not good enough. No, Graham, that is for the business. That is for the business. Don't just start using it for whatever you want, unless you are printing more stuff to put online to hopefully drive more customers towards you. So finish off the bear range, finish off the space dwarf range. If you're going to print them out, fine. Don't go, look, drug dealing 101. Don't get high if you're on supply. Or in plastic models terms, don't use the resin you've got for printing customers' models to print your own. You got no customers? Well, don't tell me that. Now I feel bad. Wait till after we've sorted money out. I'll try and get you a customer, at least one. Me. We already know that I want pretty much everything that's on your site at the minute, and I could build an army out of the space bears. Do a nice little Space Wolf proxy army. $140 hours on a castigator. Wow. Foxhole, how much detail have you put into that? I mean, you've put time into 140 hours. That's a long time. Oh, wow. Oh, could you please post it in Discord so we can see? Please. Good morning, Joey. Yo. What's up, bro? It's a bit morning and late. Also, morning and early for you, isn't it, man? Like 6 a.m. Are you up for work or defecate the bed or? Because nobody gets up at that time in the morning without wanting to, without a reason to, should I say? Nobody ever actually wants to get up that early. You usually have a reason, something making you get out of bed. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. So that's just 25. So that's the wrong. What have I just clipped out? I've just clipped out 33. You absolute moron. Let's start with 25 because that's where I'm up to. I was just clipping things out then because I was reading. Hey, a photo will do. A photo will do, Foxhole. We're not greedy. I mean, if you're saying it is on your channel, it's only a minute long, go check it out. Fair enough. I can go do that. You start work at 6 a.m. See, why does anywhere open that early? Nowhere should open that early. Everyone should be nicely tucked up at home in bed at 6 a.m. That's what 6 a.m. is for. It's for sleep. No, I've never done the up with the cows up in the. At one point, I could actually get up early. Obviously, I used to, when I was working, I could get up. When I was doing caring, I could get up at the slightest noise, I was asleep on a hairpin or a hair trigger doing that. Now, however, my body's got to the point where it doesn't care anymore. If it's asleep, it's staying that way. And it takes a lot of training for my body to be able to react to things while I'm asleep. Physical harm is usually a good prompt for that. So you're on flexi time, in which case, yeah, start early, finish early, done. You can get home, you've got time then with the family and yeah, okay, I get it now, I get it. You've probably explained that to me multiple times and I've forgotten. It's a problem with having a memory like a net. You tend to forget things. Roughly in the middle. Yep. No, thank you. No shifts at hospitals. I don't like those places. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and then it's that one. I think it's next week I'm at the hospital again. Next Thursday, I believe. I've got another place to go tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be a fun, busy week for me this week, it is. Mars Pattern Titan-ish proxy. Because obviously it can't be the official one. But yeah, it could be a very, very good proxy. It will take a lot of resin though for something that big, I should imagine. Good morning, Kirsty. Hello. How are you doing today? Are the cats still terrorizing you, or are they behaving themselves? Who am I kidding? The cats, they're terrorizing you. Ooh. So you're on flexi time as well? Does everyone just work on flexi time? It seems to be a basic thing now. Francois, you can email Graham. If you go on to last night's stream, which was the bear, there should be a link for Rogue's Den Hobbies in the description. If you click that, there is a contact section so you can message Graham directly so you can work out the logistics and everything else. $29, $30, $31, $32, and then yeah, $29, $30, $31, $32. I want to get back into work. I either go and get back into work or touch wood. Hopefully, I could do this full time, but that'd be full time live streaming rather than full time video making. Not going to happen, so I think I'm going to have to do my best to try and get back into work. Easier said than done. Not many people. Graham is a very, very British name. Graham is definitely a British name. Same as William. I'll put William under a British name as well, even though he's possibly, yeah, Scottish. So British, even though Scottish people won't like being associated with the English. That's legs. get rid of the bit of the thingy. So yeah, just pop a message over through Rogue's Den Hobbies, and then Graham can sort everything out thereafter. And before anyone thinks, you must be getting, I don't get anything for this. I'm just helping Graham. The thing I get from this is Graham gets to turn around to me and go, cheers for that order. It's like, yeah, sweet. Does that mean I can do another custom order? Because I don't think I've ever looked at anything on there and gone, that's exactly what I want, because nobody ever does that for me. Even the local stationery shop knows that when I go in there, I'm not going in to buy anything because they won't have it. That is a bit ridiculous, actually, the fact that they do their prints off, their casts off 3D prints, so therefore the casts which shouldn't have layer lines have layer lines because of the original. You should get someone to actually sculpt it, then you don't. But that would imply Games Workshop is actually thinking of anything more than just give us your money. That's all they want. They stopped giving two shits about the game years ago. Because they found, oh, people do this for meta. What's meta? It means they'll sell their armies after a month if it's not the best one anymore. Really? So yeah, they do. Excellent. So we just need to change the rules. So they do. Every edition, or every half an edition, have waves and like little updates. What is it they call it? The Munitorum Field Manual, where they change all the points costs to make the good units really expensive and the bad units super cheap. So then you think, well, people might start taking the bad units then. It's like, no, it doesn't matter how cheap they are if they're not functioning and they don't work. Cindery, good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. I obviously didn't scare you too much last night, so my singing couldn't have been that bad. Good morning. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are on to the number 9 of the Termagaunts from the Combat Patrol. Now, these were split over 2 issues, so you got most of them in issue 17. Then you got the rest of them and all the bases in issue 18. It's a weird one. It is a weird one. So you have to wait a couple of issues to put them all together and then paint them. And as usual, I will just be quickly running through the painting section because I don't paint mine in the Leviathan scheme or the whichever scheme it is that they've selected down here, which is the purpley pinky one. Because I don't use that and I have that color scheme instead, I'm going to have to wait a minute, where are you looking? You're looking there. Yes, that is a Duncan Rhodes paint. That is the only Duncan Rhodes paint I own, and it's the only one I will ever own because I don't like it. These are what I'll be buying in the future. That is the absolutely emergency ivory. In order of how I would use them, it goes, use that one first, which is the Army Painter War Paint. Then when that runs out, that's when we go to the Wraithbone. And then when the Wraithbone runs out, we start using the Duncan Rhodes again. That's the order I prefer to use them, because that's what that's my order of good, all right, nah. That's just my personal opinion. Some other people will love Duncan Rhodes because it is already like thinned down and too coated for you, and you don't have to do much to it. Some people like that. I don't. I want the actual color. I want the color to work properly. So I will. Yeah, I will. Thank you very much. It is a Von Ryan's Leaper, but it does look like the old Lictor, doesn't it? I mean, technically, if I jump back to 5th, I could use it as a lictor. I mean, absolutely no idea what I'd use that for, because he's bigger than a lictor and it looks different. So that'll put me somewhere around about like 15 lictors if I went back to around about like 5th or 7th or somewhere around there. I think 15 lictors is a little bit too much. So field them as Von Ryan's Leapers, units of 3. I don't get as many complaints that way. Now, why aren't you going in? Come on. If at first it doesn't go in, force it. And if your missus complains, don't tell her I said that. That's not what I meant. I'm talking plastic models. I'll say your missus. You might not have a missus. You might have a fella. Either way, don't do it. It'll probably not appreciate it. So final one, I believe this is number 10 now. So this will be the very, very, very final battle line model to clip out. And that'll be the full 20 that you would have with the Combat Patrol. Empty sprue. I just realized Sparkles is actually in the room with me, so she did see me do that. And it didn't come flying back at my head. As soon as the camera goes off, it will. What the fuck do you think you're doing? In a politer tone than that. Sparkles doesn't actually swear. So anytime that I say Sparkles is going to swear at me, it's just me putting my little bit of my own personality in there. Sparkles doesn't swear at me, which is actually scarier than if she were going to, because I can deal with people swearing at me. It's the nicey people that are all polite, and it's like, oh God, now I feel like a dick. So yeah, Sparkles is one of them type of people that will make you feel bad because you swore. And do what you even mean to just talk to you in a polite manner. It's just freaking annoying. Brilliant, but annoying. Just once when I'm annoying, will you tell me to fuck off? No. Why? I don't like swearing. Yeah, but it's warranted sometimes. In fact, it's warranted 90% of the time with me. No. What can you do, apart from love them? Very small little brief glimpse into my relationship there for you. And no, she's not been marked as a saint yet, so I can't call it Saint Sparkles. I could. The church might go, but it's not official. It fucking is when I make it. Go in there. Go in there. You clip. And you clip. And come on, please. Just go in. Yeah, got it. Thank you. One last base. So that's the Ripper Swan base. That's the base for him. Yeah. Okay. Try and line him up to be roughly. You can't even see there. Try and line him up to be roughly centre-ish on the base. And he overhangs it no matter which way around you put him, which is really annoying. And his tail's going to overhang that way, and his gun's going to overhang that way. So as long as you make sure you get him straight, he should be okay. So that's all 10 Termagaunts. done to make it up to a unit of 20. So I should have another 10 somewhere, and I can't remember where I've put it. There they are. So this is the last unit of 10 that we did. No, that's the which I painted black, and I've done the speed paint on them already. Yeah, we do have to use them with caution because time changes the meaning of certain words. But as long as I still think they mean what I think they mean, I'll use them that way. But thank you for the warning, Buzzard, because I know I do say some words that may get construed slightly differently depending on who's hearing it. Although I don't believe many people would come into my channel and stay if they weren't aware of just quite how batshit loopy I am. Another spray. Right, you're a hole. Get the hole, get the hole. So I need a peg. I dread to even think what street names popped into your head, Buzzard. I don't. I actually don't want to know the answer to that one. That one can stay firmly lodged in your cranium. Because as soon as you said that, bell end just instantly entered my head. Nub Creek. Cold weather warfare, Joey, that's awesome. But when it goes beyond cold, we don't want to be doing warfare. We just want to be staying at home. Give us somewhere warm. That's what we want. So we have little ravenous, no-legged, chompy things. Set 1. There we go. I'm going to take that as a yes, Graham. The Mars pattern Warhound sounds like it's going to be the right rough scale and size, with possibly the correct armament as well. I just realised I've not even started going through the magazine yet. I'm only going through the painting stage, the putting together stage from the last issue, which is now done. So once you've done in groups of 4, 1 up to 40, you get 41, 42, 43, and 44, which are the halves of the Ripper Swarms. You get 1 pegged side and 1 hole side. Pop them together, and then there's 2 holes within the base, on the larger base, for these to go in. So let's try and get them so they look at least like a ravenous swarm. Because a Ripper Swarm is what they are called. So there we go. They cover the base nicely there, all 4 of them. So it'll look... Wow. I almost got them the exact same way. So once you've painted them, they do look a bit different. No instructions on putting a model. That's not good. I mean, it's doable. You can put a model together without instructions if you're familiar enough with the models and you know the parts and where stuff's going to go. That's easy enough. But if you've never built one before, Instructions are usually handy. Right, so we have our 10 Termagants and our Ripper Swarm, which is what it's telling us we finished getting here. So now I'm going to talk you through how it wants you to paint. It's quite simple. You get the, where's the burgundy? No, that's Scuba Pink. Ah, that's the burgundy. Okay. So it wants you to paint the entire model in the base Wraithbone that you got a good few issues ago now. Once you've done the entire thing, the entire model in the Wraithbone, you then come to the Chitin armor sections, both for the, let's get that in, for the Ripper Swarms, it's across the top, and the shoulders and the head for the Termagants. You go over them with the burgundy. Okay, black but why can't they just call it something simple? Why have they got to come up with some stupid bloody wannabe fantasy name? Just call it the burgundy it is. Bloody idiots. Anyway, and then come back and clean up any sections where you've overspilled back with the Wraithbone. Always good point. Then with the Abaddon Black, it wants you to do all the claws and the hoofs and any like the dew clawy bits. So all the spiky stuff. So in this case, apart from his model that I've done green and along here, does want you to do that, his feet, this little bit here, that bit there. Possibly even the little tail bit, although I guess I want that to be done the burgundy, the same as I've done with the purple. So it's quite simple. It's basically the things that are going to hurt you, they want to do black. The fleshy bits are done Wraithbone, and anything that's supposed to protect the model is done in the burgundy. Easy. So, he's doing a Abaddon Black again on the armor on the gun, and as well as the spiky bits on the. I've just said it 19 times. What's the unit called? That's just Ripper Swarms. Ripper Swarms. And then it tells you to get the Screamer Pink, which I did have out a minute ago, and then I put down, and I can't remember where I put it now. It was right here in front of me. It can't have gone far. Screamer Pink. There we go. Get the Screamer Pink and paint his tongue. Paint all the tongues. Screamer Pink. And then you get the Squig Orange. Now, it's a big difference between the Squig. So you've got the Fire Dragon Bright Orange, but they give us a Squig Orange. So you can see the difference there. So it's used Squig Orange and paint the fleshy bits of the gun. And yes, they are fleshy bits. Remember. I don't believe Francois is in this good. There is a link on the channel page if you wish to join up. It's completely free. There is no paywall behind it, so don't worry about, oh, you've got to cost me money to join. No, it's not. No, it's not. Free is my favorite word, so if I can keep it in there as much as possible, I will do. So going off this is how your Termagants and the majority of your Tyranid army will look now. So they'll have black sections on tops and the spiky sections of the guns, and the guns will be that Squig Orange, purple, burgundy all on the back, Wraithbone skin, and black for their actual claws. And it's telling us that the Ripper Swarms will have a chance to join our army in the future issues. Oh, fuck. Now we get a bit of talk about Hive Worlds. Hive Worlds are, let's put it this way. If anyone's familiar with Mega City 1 from 2000 AD, stack about 93 of them together and you've got a Hive World, or at least a Hive City. So I'll give you just the brief synopsis part, which is the bit I'll do. If you want to read it all, if you will get the magazine, please feel free to read through it. Some of it is quite interesting lore. So, Hive Worlds. Learn how to speak first, lads. Focus yourself a little bit more. Then try reading. You did learn once. I'm not good at this, am I? Hive worlds. The vast majority of the Imperium's population live on hive worlds. Hellish wastelands that are home to huge hive cities that house billions of workers. Countless trillions have been born, lived, and died knowing no sky but the rusty grating of the hive city above them. So that picture's actually a good one. See, it's breaking through the clouds there, and these scatterings of cities all across the planet's surface. That's the only place humanity can live on those worlds. Leave the hive city, you die through radiation or some other kind of not nice thing for humans. So they do poke literally straight out through the tops of clouds. These things are absolutely massive. It does also lead into a separate game that you can play. If you don't want to play Warhammer 40,000, but you like the worlds and the lore, there is a game called Necromunda, which takes place solely inside a hive city, which is all about gang warfare. So in the lower reaches of the hive cities are often home to criminal gangs. These sprawling enterprises are large enough to rival nations. Clan gangs frequently control entire industrial sectors, as their overlords organize their enterprises in the spires of the hive above. Low-ranking gangers battle for territory, renown, and hidden technology below. Many Imperial citizens in the Underhive depend not on the Imperium or planetary governors for protection, but whatever local rackets are provided by the criminal gangs. Hive gangers often make fine recruits for Astra Militarum or even the Space Marines, hardened from a lifetime of violence. So, gang warfare. That's a nice Goliath picture, that as well. So, that's one of the gangs you can get, the Goliath. They have just brute strength. They're the strong ones on the extreme, so they only get a 4-inch move. Oh, sorry, is it 4-inch move. Everyone else gets a 5-inch move. And the Vansar, who are not strong but good at shooting, get the 4-inch move as well. So the two extremes get a 4-inch move in Necromunda, and then the 4 other gangs get a 5-inch move just to help balance it out. The other type of world, death worlds. Technically, we're probably on a death world, but oh well. Some worlds in the Imperium are deadlier than others, whether as a result of natural disaster, war, or alien invasion. These planets are known as death worlds. No natural wealth comes from these planets. Instead, the hardest survivors that dwell on their surface are their most valuable resource. So if you've seen the Rambo Imperial Guard, the Catachans, it's them ones. They come from the death world. We're so hard, we don't need armor, we're still going to take you down. That type of thing. Now, successor chapters. Now, successor chapters is quite a large topic because there are loads of them, including my own. Come on, I've got to have a model on my desk somewhere for Space Marine. There we go. So the blue shoulder pads, the black paint scheme. That's my chapter. At the moment, they are called the Stone Dragons. That is probably going to change as the bear progresses. They'll probably become the Stone Bears. Not much of a difference. No change in paint scheme. But they will remain a Salamander's successor chapter. So instead of painting them all green, like I would if I was painting them for the actual founding chapter of Salamanders, I've chose my own colour scheme and just used the Salamander rules. Because there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of successor chapters. They do that so you can create your own. So the successor chapters. The first founding chapters are the progenitors of countless successor chapters. New forces of Space Marines created from the gene scenes of their predecessors and rooted in the traditions of their forebearers. So as I said, I've taken Salamanders as my founding chapter and created a successor from them. If you wanted to do something like the Blood Angels, and then you could go for Flesh Terrors. There you go. That's a successor chapter of the Blood Angels. If you wanted to run one of them, you've got many, many, many other successors chapters. The Lamenters, the Reclaimers of Dawn, if you wanted to go for a nice yellow gold look. So if you want to do a successor chapter of your own, you choose out of the 9 starting chapters, which one you like the law or the rules for the most. Go, I'm a successor of them, and then paint it whatever color you want and just use their rules. Just don't paint it in an actual first founding chapter's colors, because otherwise people will get confused. So if you paint it all blue in the blue that I've used, the ultramarine blue, people will just assume you're playing ultramarines. So why haven't you got Marnius Kelgar? Why haven't you got Rabute Gilliman on there? I'm a successor chapter of the Iron Hands, so why are you all blue? Why do you look like the ultramarines? If you're going to try and make it stand out as your chapter, at least change it up a little bit. I am not taking part in the conversation that's currently going on. So there we go. Just an example, as Dave gives, unnamed. As with all Dark Angel's successor chapters, the unnamed are aware of their Primogenitor's dark secret and have chosen not to take a chapter name out of shame. Dark Hunters, Wolf Spear, Black Templars, Flesh Tearers, Sons of Medusas, Silver Templars. Now, the Silver Templars are the chapter that was made specifically for Hachette. I have a small short story book in the cupboard with my other stuff, and I have the guide on how to paint Silver Templars. So that's the one that they would expect you, if you were to run your own successor, to run from here. He doesn't actually tell us who their progenitor chapter is, though. We have the Dark Krakens. I do like their paint scheme, which is the purple and black. I was very tempted with that, first of all. And Raptors, which is another. So there's 9 successors to go with. As I said, each one is slightly variant, even though the Dark Hunters do very, very ultramarine to me. I wouldn't choose that because of that reason. The unnamed, okay, they get away with it because they've got the black mask. It's kind of like they've got that separates them from the Imperial Fist, so it's not too bad. Drum roll, please. We're either going to hear Twisted shout across the ocean, or it's going to be okay. Ooh, so now we're moving on to Tyranids. And we have the Neuro Tyrant there with these little brain thingies. As well as some Zoanthropes, is that? About there, and Neurogants down here. So the shadow in the warp. The mere psychic presence of the hive mind is horrifying to behold. To those sensitive to the warp, the coming of a Tyranid hive fleet is a nightmare. A vast shadow in the warp that stifles out psychic communication and strikes fear into the hearts of psychers. Not good if you're a Grey Knight player, is what they're saying. You let it cool a bit. That is a good idea. I could do with a drink soon as well. So next we go on to datasheet abilities. So Death Frenzy, in this case, is the first one. The Tyranid Prime is capable of fighting even beyond its own point of death. This is represented in the game by the Death Frenzy rule. When a Tyranid Prime is slain by a melee attack, you roll a dice. On a 4+, it gets to fight before being removed from play. Only if it hasn't fought already. So if they've charged you and basically just charged in, steamed it, and kicked his head in, killed it in one shot, on a 4+, it's like, nah, I'm still going to get to hit you. So he gets a bit of a chance to fight back. It's not a guaranteed loss if that happens. Okay, Disruption Bombardment, which is the second one. It's a nice one here. That's all about the Barbgaunts. Even seasoned warriors struggle to advance under the bombardment of a unit of Barbgaunts. In game, this is represented by the Disruption Bombardment rule. Units that have been shot by the Barbgaunts reduce their movement as well as their advance and charge moves for the next turn. So the captain has taken 1 damage from the Barbgaunts. He has the infantry keyword, so he's affected by that. So he's instantly reduced by 2 inches. So his 5-inch movement, let's bring it over here. Obviously now subtract 2 becomes a 3-inch movement. Not very far. So it means he's got a much longer charge now. He rolls for the charge. He gets a 9, which should technically make it, because he has to subtract 2 from that as well. He's only on a 7. He fails his charge. That shooting unit, if used right, can cripple a melee army. Just completely shut it down. Enough of them and boom, they're not getting to you before you've got the chance to shoot them off the table. Always good. Next rule is Skulking Horrors. It seems to be doing a lot of Tyranid rules. Termagaunts can consistently skitter onto the best possible position. This is represented by the Skulking Horrors rule. Once per turn, when a unit moves close to the Termagaunts, they may move d6 inches, getting away from a dangerous close combat unit or grabbing an objective. So in this instance, the Terminator captains moved forward to just within 6. They've rolled their Skulking Horrors dice. They've rolled a 3, so they've just edged back 3 inches, making that charge range a little longer, and they're still within range of the objective to be able to score it. Awesome. Nice little reaction moves. That's not bad at all. The Psychophage, which is the big bug one. This one that we got not long ago. I know this one isn't painted. My other 2 are, but this one isn't. And because I have another 2, that's why I haven't paid the 3rd. Because I'm lazy sometimes. So Feeding Frenzy is a rule for that big bottom book. Feeding Frenzy. The Psychophage is especially deadly against wounded units. Thanks to the Feeding Frenzy rule, every time it attacks a unit that is below half strength, see B basics 9, so you know what, but below starting strength and below half strength are. As long as it's below half strength in close combat, you can add 1 to both the hit and the wound rolls, making it great for finishing off injured foes. So when it's attacking these Terminators, it would normally wound on a 3+, but as it gets +1 to the wound roll, 2s count as well. So a 2 is a successful hit. Well, 3's the hit in this case, so he only missed 2. Out of all 3 that got through, the 1s are automatically failures, but the 2, because of the +1 to wound, plus it up to a 3, he gets a wound through, which will mean that the Terminators have to roll a save. If they fail the save, they take the respective amount of damage for that attack. So scenario 14 is the Monster Hunt. Following a titanic battle, the only survivors are the Tyranid Prime and a Space Marine captain. These warriors duel in the center of the battlefield, fighting past their limits as a second wave of reinforcements rushes into the fray to support them. In this scenario, you'll finally get to use the full strength of the Tyranid swarm in battle, using their special rules and an extra unit of Termagaunts. Will the Space Marines be able to weather such force? Looking at how they've given us the 2 forces, the Space Marines are losing this one. So you start with the captain in Terminator armor and the Winged Prime down here in the small little square section that they give you to set up each time. We have 1, 2, 3 objectives. And we have a Space Marine deployment zone, and we have a Tyranid deployment zone, and the final 4 pieces of terrain. Space Marine units, along with the captain in Terminator armor, you will also get a Librarian in Terminator armor and 5 Infernus Marines. That's not a lot at all. That's 6 extra models coming on. And the Winged Prime is already on the table. So additionally to the Winged Prime, the reinforcements arriving for the Tyranids are 2 units of 10 Termagaunts, 3 Von Rheinsleepers, and 5 Barbgaunts. That is a ridiculous amount of overkill and body movement. So starting with the Tyranid's turn. Start with the command phase. First, both players get a command point, then take any battle shock tests that would be required. After that, you score any objectives that you're on and that you can score because you have an higher OC. Then it's the Tyranid's move. You make all your normal moves, advance and fallbacks with your units. Remember, the Termagaunts can advance and still shoot their flesh borers thanks to the assault keyword ability. If a unit that is battle shot falls back, it must make a desperate escape test. To do this, roll a dice for each model in the battle shot unit that is falling back. For each roll of a 1 or 2, one model in that unit is slain as it is hacked down while attempting to flee. When moving the rest of your units, consider where you will attempt to claim an objective and which the Space Marine units you intend to charge. Then you get to shoot. If the Termagaunts are still alive and did not fall back, you may take a shooting attack with them. Additionally, you may make shooting attacks with the Termagaunts if they did not advance or fall back. An important consideration to make when shooting is who to target with the Termagaunts. The disruption bombardment ability means that the unit you shoot won't just be damaged, you'll slow them down as well. This is a great way to stop the Space Marine Librarian from reaching your foes or stopping the Infernus Marines from taking good defensive ground. That was a lot. It was a lot. But it works. So I've got a light in my eye, so I can't actually see the rest of my living room, so just checking things are still there. Then we get to the charge phase. If you're in range, at least within 12 inches, you can attempt to make a charge. Really, you want to be around about 7 inches just to push it in your favor. Then you enter the fight phase. Those who have charged fight first. Anyone with a fight first ability can then fight after them, and then you alternate picking units to complete all the fights until they are done. So, quick example of move and shoot. We've got 1 unit of Termagaunts has dropped down to claim objective 3. 1 unit of Termagaunts has jumped over to claim objective 1. The Termagaunts have stayed where they are. These Termagaunts are shot over the terrain to try and take out the Librarian and the Infernus Marines. Technically, you can't do that. The Librarian can't join the Infernus Marines. He's in the wrong armor. You would have to use a normal Librarian, not the Terminator Librarian. I'm not going to argue with Barry because it's a quick, fun game. Sticking with him by all means. But if you was to go to a competition, your opponent would pull you on that. As it gets into the charge phase, you already have a unit that's locked in combat. So you would fight through, with it being the Tyranid's turn first. The Tyranid Prime would go first, and then the Space Marine would retaliate, and then it would become the Space Marine's turn. So the Captain would go first, and the Wing Prime would retaliate. So they both get to fight in each other's turns as well. So it's kind of like a double. But by the end of the first fight phase, this is saying that the Captain kills the Wing Prime, but the Wing Prime does do 2 damage to the Captain. And then asks you to play on them. Make your own decisions from there. So, again, another example turn. Oh, they didn't put him with him. Okay. So, the Librarians come up to help with the Termagaunts. Oh, there's the Von Line Sleepers. I didn't see them come in there at the top. They snuck in. The Infernus Marines come down to claim objective 2, and the Captain pushes forward to help, to try and take out the Termagaunts that are claiming objective 3. He will charge as well, and he's got a good chance of doing some damage to them. So in this case, it's saying he's took out 3 of them, but in return, they have still managed to do 1 damage. Let's move this up here so we can actually see. So in the charge phase, it's saying, the Captain has took out 3 of them in his initial volley, but the rest of them have closed in and managed to do 1 extra wound on the Captain. Obviously, who wins depends on dice rolls and who's playing which side. If you're playing against yourself, it is all down to dice rolls because you're going to win and lose. Remember that. But if you're playing against someone, Tyranids have the advantage here. So that would be nice if the Space Marines could wipe them out, but I don't think they will. Again, it's told us what's coming, so it's going to be Eldar and Chaos Space Marines are coming after Tyranids and normal Space Marines. And we have the last 2 issues for the Tyranids and the Space Marines to come in the next 2 weeks. So next week, it's the Parasite of Mortrex, which is the final model for the Tyranids, unless you've bought the premium expansion, in which case you'll get a Hive Tyrant as well. You should actually already have that, along with your Ballista's Dreadnought. And then in issue 20, we get the Chaplain on a bike, which I did show off a minute ago because I got one from the Secret Santa, and I've put it down, and now I can't remember where I've put it, and now I'm panicking because I really like that model. There he is. So yes, you will get him with issue 20. The thing I have to say before both of these issues, so 19 and 20 are going to be the first issues where you have to use glue. They are not push fit models like all the others have been. You have to glue them. So when I'm putting this together, I will have my glue ready. If you don't have any already, then you can either go pick up some Games Workshop Citadel plastic glue. It'll look in a container something like this. You might already have some. Or if you don't and you wish to get, you don't want to buy Games Workshop stuff because you don't have a local store that sells it, there is also the Revel Contactor Professional, which is the Revel plastic glue. So, two different tubs of it there. Both the exact same thing and work the same. So, fantastic. If you've not got them, you've now got a week to go and try and find some plastic glue or order some off Amazon or your local stores. Somebody will have some somewhere, online especially. So you'll need it for both of those two. Then once those are done, that's it. We're done with Tyranids. We're done with space. We're done with Loyalist Space Marines. We will still be getting Chaos Space Marines and Khorne Berserkers and Khorne related Chaos Space Marines. But those will take us up to issue 20. In that, it'll cover the 19, it'll cover the Tyranid Vanguard Beasts, which is things like the Parasite of Mortrex, the Neurolictor, the Von Ryan's Leapers, basically all the spindly ones I want to try and get forward early. It'll cover the Great Crusade again, as well as the Silver Templars, which, as I said, are Hachette's own chapter. Issue 20, we'll go through the Space Marine Chaplain, what's actually on the Chaplain's data sheet, and then playing a new scenario, because now we have some very fast-moving units, some at 10, 12 inches, so they're going to zip around that board ridiculously quick. Well, there we go. We've done issue 18. That's what's in it. Obviously, all the story I'm going to leave for those people. I don't want to spoil it too much. So if you are getting it, go ahead, read through it. Some nice stories. You've now completed your 20 Termagants all put together. Just got to paint them all in whichever color scheme you wish, and then get them all on the board ready to play. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. You will enjoy it. If you've collected it this far and you're thinking that battle was a bit too one-sided with the Tyranids, throw the Terminators in. Okay, throw the Terminators in. Chuck the Ripper Swarm bases if you can find the stats. Try and balance out those units. I think the Tyranids will win this fight, but it's all down to the dice roll. So now that we've come to the end of that, I have used, I believe that's everything. I'm a day early. This is why I'm out. I'm not sure. It's completely thrown me off. Excellent. Okay, so just to let you know, Francois and Graham, obviously, if you're still chatting away in the chat, it'll let you after the stream. You can continue chatting as long as you're sat in the room. Yep, keep it mostly open. So please carry on. I'm not telling you to stop, and you can carry on with your conversation there. However, I am bringing the stream to a close. So again, thank you for everybody who's come to see me today. We've got Foxhole Gamings, we've had Twisted Nerds, we've had Francois, we've had Graham, we've had Joey, we've had Beaky, we've had Kirsty, we've had Sindri. I forgot to say thank you to Sindri for last night as well. Thank you, Sindri, for last night as well. Have I missed anybody? I don't believe I have. I think I've got everybody. If I have missed you, I am sorry. I do have an absolute appalling memory. But everybody, Buzzard, you're practically part of the show, to be quite honest, mate. So thank you. So yes, I thank you all for joining me, listening to my dulcet tones as I talk through this and put models together and paint them. And we're back again on Monday to carry on with the bear, and Wednesday next week to do the parasite of Mortrex. If during that time the other models I'm expecting turn up, I may do another stream to start off my next series, which should take all year, really, to do it on Thursdays. So I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, yeah, drive safe, everybody.